let me give you an honest picture of what it's really like to live in Netanya as an Anglo immigrant. Netanya is fundamentally different from Jerusalem or Tel Aviv. It's Israel's beach city, not in the trendy cosmopolitan Tel Aviv sense, but as a relaxed, residential coastal town. Located on the Mediterranean coast about 30 kilometers north of Tel Aviv, Netanya has a population of around 220,000 and markets itself as Israel's seaside capital. The city offers a laid-back lifestyle centered around beach culture, outdoor activities, and a slower pace than Israel's major metropolitan areas. Netanya has a significant Anglo population, particularly among two distinct groups: young families seeking affordability near Tel Aviv, and retirees drawn to the beach lifestyle. The Anglo community is estimated at 10 to 15% of the city's population, concentrated in specific neighborhoods. Kiryat Hasharon in the northern neighborhoods is where you'll find the highest concentration of Anglo families, with neighborhoods like Ramat Poleg attracting English speakers with their proximity to quality schools, parks, and the beach. The Anglo population here reaches 15 to 20% in some blocks. The city center near Independence Square has a mix of young professionals and families, with about 10 to 15% Anglo residents. Unlike Baka's concentrated Anglo bubble, Netanya's English speakers are more dispersed, which means more integration with Israeli society, but less of that instant community support system. Here's where Netanya becomes attractive compared to Jerusalem or Tel Aviv: housing costs. A 3-bedroom apartment in northern neighborhoods runs 2.5 to 3.5 million shekels. That's $700,000 to $1 million. Compare this to Baka's 4.5 to 6 million shekels for a 3-bedroom, and you're looking at 30 to 40% savings. Rental prices are also significantly cheaper than Tel Aviv or central Jerusalem, making Netanya appealing for families not ready to buy or wanting to try an area before committing. Since Netanya doesn't have the employment opportunities of Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, many residents commute. The commute to Tel Aviv by car takes 35 to 50 minutes in normal traffic, 60 to 90 minutes in rush hour. By train from Netanya station, it's 30 to 40 minutes to Tel Aviv center, making the total door-to-door commute typically 60 to 90 minutes each way. That's 2 to 3 hours daily. The commute to Jerusalem is even rougher: 90 to 120 minutes by car or train plus bus combination. Few people make this commute daily. The commute is Netanya's biggest drawback for Tel Aviv workers. Many families negotiate 2 to 3 days in office rather than 5-day weeks, or one spouse works remotely while the other commutes. Schools are where Netanya faces challenges compared to Jerusalem's premier institutions. Netanya has religious schools, but they don't have the reputation or track record of Jerusalem's Pelek or Himmelfarb. The religious community is smaller and less established. The Anglo presence in these schools is lower, 10 to 20% versus Jerusalem's 30 to 40%, meaning more Hebrew immersion, but less peer support for immigrant children. Many Anglo families cite schools as a reason they ultimately choose other cities over Netanya. Netanya is predominantly secular. About 60 to 70% of residents identify as secular or traditional, with only 20 to 25% religious and a small Haredi population. Most businesses operate on Shabbat, public transportation runs on Shabbat, there's less stringent kashrut observance in restaurants and shops, and beach culture dominates with its secular lifestyle. For modern Orthodox families, Netanya requires adjusting to being a minority. You can absolutely maintain an observant lifestyle. There are kosher supermarkets, multiple synagogues, religious schools, but you're choosing a secular city and need to be comfortable with that environment. This is Netanya's defining feature: the beach culture. The city has 13.5 kilometers of Mediterranean coastline with multiple beaches. The beach promenade is the city's social center. People walk, jog, bike, and gather here. Sunsets on the promenade are spectacular. Summer evenings see thousands of residents and visitors strolling along the water. Mornings are quieter than Jerusalem or Tel Aviv. The city really comes alive in late afternoon and evening when people hit the beach, promenade, cafes, and restaurants. Weekends are beach-focused, with Friday afternoon, Saturday, and Sunday seeing the beaches packed with families. Netanya has decent restaurants and cafes, but nothing approaching Tel Aviv's culinary scene or Jerusalem's Emek Rephaim vibrancy. The social scene is quieter and more family-oriented, less nightlife than Tel Aviv, less cultural events than Jerusalem. This appeals to families wanting a calmer lifestyle, but disappoints those seeking urban energy. The Anglo community has organizations and activities, but at a smaller scale than Jerusalem. You won't find the same density of Anglo families, which means less automatic support network. Many Anglos report feeling more isolated initially in Netanya compared to Anglo-heavy cities. Netanya's coastal climate is one of its biggest draws. Hot, humid summers are moderated by sea breeze, mild winters with some rain, and over 300 sunny days annually make the weather genuinely better than Jerusalem's extreme heat and cold. For people from temperate climates, this year-round pleasant weather significantly improves quality of life. Beyond housing, Netanya's cost of living is moderate. A monthly budget for a family of 4 runs about 21,000 to 32,000 shekels. That's $6,000 to $9,000, which is 15 to 20% less than Jerusalem or Tel Aviv, primarily due to housing savings. Required household income for comfortable living is 25,000 to 30,000 shekels monthly gross. Netanya works best for families seeking beach lifestyle and outdoor activities, those priced out of Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, but working there, retirees wanting coastal living, people comfortable with secular environment, those prioritizing affordability and space over urban amenities, and remote workers not tied to office location. It's a poor fit for families prioritizing top-tier Jewish education, those seeking vibrant urban culture and nightlife, strongly religious families wanting observant environment, career-focused professionals needing daily office presence in Tel Aviv, and those expecting an established, dense Anglo bubble. Netanya represents a middle path, not as expensive as Tel Aviv or central Jerusalem, not as affordable as development towns, not as urban as Tel Aviv, not as relaxed as smaller towns, not as religious as Jerusalem, not as secular as Tel Aviv. It's a compromise city that works beautifully for families with the right priorities. Those who value beach lifestyle, can handle a commute or work remotely, are comfortable in a more secular environment, aren't dependent on an established Anglo bubble, and prioritize affordability and space over urban amenities or educational prestige. For thousands of families, Netanya provides a high quality of life at a more manageable cost than Israel's expensive central cities, with kids growing up with sand between their toes and developing strong Hebrew skills while integrating fully into Israeli society.